You're done. Welcome to my channel. I am Aileen and this is Life as Aileen. I share about homeschool, cooking, and a little bit of travel. Today I want to do a 4th grade check-in. It's January, so it's a good halfway point to just check in and share what's working, what's not working. There's a lot of big changes for 4th grade, for my 4th grader. So let's get into it. Did a 4th grade curriculum picks video at the beginning of the school year that I shared. A lot has changed. But first, let's talk about what is working for us. So first up is Explode the Code. She finished Explode the Code 5 as predicted. It was pretty easy for her, which is what I wanted. I wanted to build that confidence and just keep working on the phonics work. So now we're on to Explode the Code 6. And there are 8 books in Explode the Code. If you're not familiar, it's just a kind of an open and go phonics workbook. And for my 4th grader, she still needs some focus on that. So we're going to continue working on that. Her reading is exploding. She's doing really great in that area. So this is just helping her along. Next is sequential spelling. We were new to using this year, so I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. So far, so good. It's going a lot slower than I expected. I think we're on day 26. So we're definitely not getting to it every day. It's a lot of words. It's 25 words, which she has dysgraphia, so her hands kind of get tired. So I don't tend to do it every day. And I've just accepted that we're going to go through this really slowly, and we'll probably do this for 5th grade as well, and then move on to the next book if it still makes sense. But I'm really happy with it. It uses word families. And so she has been working off of understanding, okay, this word, you add, this suffix and these prefix, and it looks like this. And she's able to see the patterns and has been really successful in spelling probably 80-85% of the words correctly. And all we do is I read the word to her, she writes it on her whiteboard, I write it on my whiteboard. If hers is incorrect, she just checks and rewrites it based on my whiteboard. It's so fast and easy. It is 25 words, which took some getting used to for her. But I'm happy with it. It seems to be helping her spelling. So we're going to keep doing sequential spelling. Something we added in because my 1st grader was using it was Draw Then Write. My 1st grader has Draw Then Write for grades 1st to 3rd. It's an Evan Moore workbook. You can get it on Amazon. I actually bought it from a Facebook homeschool group secondhand. It's probably an old version for the 1st grader. But my 4th grader was like, I want to do that too. And so I found that they have a 3rd to 5th grade, or no, 4th to 6th. And she is still doing IEW kind of on and off. I feel like she's not quite ready. We need to get the spelling a little bit better. So we're not doing it every week. But we are still doing IEW. This is more, I'm not correcting her work. I'm not doing any of that. This is just her getting words on paper and enjoying the drawing lessons. And it's really helped her with her ability to cope with frustration because she's very much a perfectionist. And so oftentimes when we do drawing tutorials, she gets really frustrated. And I've noticed that with this, it's really helped her and she's not getting frustrated. So it's been really good. And she's making up some really silly stories. She actually wrote a lovely little romance story about a pig this week, which made my heart so happy. So this has been really, really good. And it's something that we added in mid-year. Okay. Now it's time to talk about what's not working. I'm just going to tell you what wasn't working for us. So just keep that in mind. If something I mention is working for your family, I'm happy for you. That's awesome. It's just not working for us. So first up, I had such high hopes for this program. I know I shared that. I bought it for all 3 of my kids, and it's been a failure for all 3 of my kids. Art with a Purpose. I really, really, really thought this was going to work for us and for her. And it was very inexpensive on Rainbow Resource. I found it because I get the Rainbow Resource catalog every year and was like, oh, this might be the answer to art. I mean, it's fine. It's got different like instructions and different lessons. She just found it really boring. And what I found was like my fourth grader wanted to do the first grader's assignment or the sixth grader's assignment. And then the first grader wanted to do the fourth grader's assignment. They were kind of like, not jealous, but like they were more interested in the other students' project. So if we're going to do art, I think we just need to stick with doing art projects together. And then if they want to do their own freeform art, absolutely, they can do that. But the assignments, it's not really working for us with the separate programs. So we're going to pass these on to a friend, and I hope that they work better for her. So sorry, Art with a Purpose, you're done. Okay, so the next one I cannot show you. It's not a workbook. It's Zern. My son in 6th grade is still using Zern and is very, very happy with it. But my 4th grader, she is the whole reason why we moved to an online math curriculum, because she has dysgraphia, which if you're not familiar with that, it affects her handwriting. Her numbers and letters are often flipped, and she's actually improved exponentially since we finally got confirmation that that's what was going on. She's gotten some OT, and I worked with her. But the big problem was like her numbers would be backwards. And so it was hard to know which number, like, is this a 2 or is it a 5, that kind of thing. And it was focused. We were focused so much on that she like wasn't getting the math lesson out of it. It was like so focused on her numbers, but having your numbers facing the right way is important so people can read your answer. So then we just switched to online math and said, okay, we're going to work on her handwriting, but we're not going to, I needed to separate it from her math work. So we did that. She did all of 3rd grade with Zern and half of 4th grade, but lately she's been really, really frustrated with it. There's a lot of things where you have to like drag and drop and unbundle these numbers to make these numbers and then bundle these numbers, and was just really frustrated with it and sick of it and was begging me to order her a math book. And I put Horizon Math in my cart, and I actually hit order on Amazon, but it's like $80, and I don't know if that's going to work for her either. So then I canceled the order, and I remembered that I could get The Good and the Beautiful for free as a PDF. So we decided to do that. And I'm actually glad that I did that, because my worry with switching to Horizons Math mid-year, even though that's what she did before, and my 1st grader uses it and it's fine, and I did it for 4th grade with my son, is, you know, all of the math programs, they all teach the concepts in a different order, and figuring out like Horizons just doesn't, they don't even have like a table of contents showing what they're covering in each lesson. And so it was going to be very, very hard for me to be able to pick out what we needed to work on without having her just start the entire 4th grade year over and then have her be behind next year. And I do try and keep my kids on track. I don't know what the future holds. I want them to be able to be, if we need to go back, if we need to send them to public school for some reason, I want them to be able to try and keep them on track for math. I decided to do The Good and the Beautiful because I realized that they had a free PDF, and I thought, I wonder if they have their lessons broken down. I feel like they do. And so I downloaded Math 4, and sure enough, they have, not only do they have their lessons broken down, they have unit tests every like 30 lessons, and then it like references, you like have a little checkbox, needs to review, and then it tells you what lesson to review. So what I ended up doing for the first 2 units, so like half of the book, was having her, we just did the 2 unit tests, and it was like if she knew it, we did it, and if she didn't, she's like, oh, I don't even learn this yet. So we just checked the box. And then I printed out those lessons, here's some of them, on things we hadn't covered yet, and we're going to do those lessons and work through it that way. And then eventually I'll print out the rest of the book or order the book, and we'll complete the rest of the year. But overall, so far, I mean, we're only a weekend, so who knows what's going to happen, but I'm pretty happy with it. Starting, I think, in 4th grade, they have a video lesson, which is like 8 to 10 minutes long. She watches the video and does these with the online teacher. And then, or if you want to skip the video, they have a mini lesson here where you can read the lesson. And then you do your lesson practice here for what you learned. And then every lesson has a review, and it kind of just goes randomly through other things that they've covered throughout the year. It does also have this multiplication fact practice down here, which coincides with their musical multiplication, which we already owned. And she's really excited about that because she loves the musical multiplication. She sings the songs all the time. We listen to them in the car. And so now she has an excuse to listen and then practice. It does also have a separate mental math section, coincides with each lesson, that takes maybe 5 minutes. So she also does that. So that's the big change for 4th grade, is the math. And I'm hoping that this is going to work out, at least for the remainder of the year. And then I can reassess over the summer just to make sure that she's learning all of the things that she needs to learn and that we're able to practice. I'm really excited that they have the unit reviews. I think that's really helpful. She wanted something colorful with little. So Horizons Math, if you're not familiar, is very colorful, and they have a lot of little games and puzzles worked into the curriculum, and that's why she likes it and wanted to do it again. She's her sister doing it. And The Good and the Beautiful is very similar to that. And it's free if you just print it out. So I saved $80 by not ordering the Horizons for something that I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. So that's where we're at with the math. Overall, it's been a really, really great year. We are enjoying homeschooling, enjoying our time together, but those changes needed to happen, and so they happened. For art, we're just kind of working in art projects and crafts from our science and history, and then they do tons. The girls at least do tons of art on their own. She does tons of art on her own, so I'm not really worried about it. She does lots of handicrafts and stuff. But that is all. Thank you for watching. If you are teaching a 4th grader this year, I'd love to hear what's working, what's not working for you, or if you have experience with any of these curriculums, or if you have advice for me. I love advice. I love suggestions. So please leave them in the comments below. And if you could please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye.